All right, good morning. And we're in the kitchen right now. And so I thought today would be the perfect day to show you how to use up some of the stuff that I have in my pantry. So again, my pantry is just the stuff that I brought from moving. And so it looks a little different than what I normally would have had if I would have been canning and preserving to last all winter. But I knew that I was hoping to move, and so I didn't know where I was going to move. I was just hoping to move. And so I had done things a little bit differently. And so today we are going to use some squash soup. And so if you have never canned or preserved squash soup, I'm going to show you how to use some. So my camera seems like it's a little off. So let me just fix it here so that you guys can see what we're doing. So first thing to know, my house is built in 1901, so it doesn't have a microwave in it, and I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with it. You can kind of see in there, that's my great room in there. It's huge, it's got lots of windows in it. The house is small, but it's pretty strategically laid out, and I really like it. But we're in the kitchen right now. I have a gas stove, and so it works great. I really love gas stoves. So I'm going to use one of my jarred squash soups. This one I canned in September of 23, so this is the perfect time to kind of go ahead and get that used up. So I'll show you how to use it. My mama, she used to open the jars with the back of a butter knife. Hang on, let me grab one. So if you don't have a fancy jar opener, don't sweat it. You can use the back of a butter knife. This is a jar opener. I got this one off of Amazon, I think for like $5.99. This obviously just a regular butter knife. If you need to open something with the back of the butter knife, what you're gonna do is see the difference. Don't want to poke myself in the eye. The difference between the jar and the lip right here. You take the butter knife and you insert it between the jar and the butter knife, and you push it up. And you just catch it and push up, and it will pop right up. So let me angle this down so you can see it. Canning tool, it's really easy to use. The canning tool has a little lip, and all you do is take the canning tool, you put the two on top, and you put the little lip thing underneath, and you push it up, and it just simply pops it up. Same principle with the butter knife. You want to catch it underneath of kind of an open spot. Sometimes you have to look for a really good open spot. Here's one. You want to look for the open spot between the canning lid and the back of the jar. There we go. This one is really down tight. Just like that. So first thing I do after I open it, so I always do like the smell test, and it smells really good. So sorry that you're hearing the dogs clacking around again. The problem that I have going on is that my poor little Dobie, she does not like the storms, and it is storming pretty hard right now, and she gets really anxious, and she definitely needs to have her nails trimmed, and so she is kind of losing her mind right now. So she's in here walking around. There she is. And she's 11, and she is super anxious right now, so sorry that you're hearing her clacking around. So anyways, this is completely ready to go. I don't need to add any broth to it. I don't need to add anything to it. When I made it, it was completely ready to go. So all I'm gonna do, you can either use a crock pot, set it on low and leave it and let it just warm up, or you can put it into like a Dutch oven. So I'm just gonna use, I have a really small Dutch oven right here, and I'm just gonna pour it into my Dutch oven. I'm gonna let this just kind of heat slowly. Because I'm not in a rush to eat right now, so I'm just gonna put it on low and let it simmer. If I need to, I can always add some liquid if I needed to. I do have an open jar of some fluid. I think it's chicken broth. I don't think it's vegetable. In the refrigerator. So if I needed to, I could add something if I wanted to. And then when it's warm, then I can add some cream to it. I forgot to take out the cream for my coffee. So my cream is frozen solid. So I have it sitting on the counter so that hopefully it will have enough cream so I can pour it in the soup. The soup is really good without cream. So, but let me show you what it looks like. It looks really, really good. So this is what it looks like. It has all the spices in it. However, what I always do before I serve this to anybody is I check the spices to make sure that I don't want to add any extra things to it. One of the things that I have learned over the years of canning is when I can food, I go really light on the spices, because as stuff sits, particularly food like beef stew or like chicken soup or curried types of things, that certain spices really intensify in flavor. And so things that have like cinnamon in them, any type of allspice, cloves, any type of paprika, those types of flavors into them, I always go really light-handed on those. And so even though I prefer them spicier, I make them a little less spicy, because when I'm warming them, then I can add more to them. But I have found that otherwise, when they sit on the shelf, those flavors really intensify, and then all of a sudden you go to serve it and you're like, wow, this is really spicy. And so, and I like spicy food. I like it a lot, but it's a weird kind of a spicy intensifying that you kind of almost feel like, wow, this is a lot. So we're gonna let that just sit. I'm gonna put it over here. We're gonna cover it, and it's gonna hang out there for as long as I want it to. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about today, which I thought was kind of just a perfect day, I had a few questions that were asked of me. And so I just thought it was a perfect day, you know, kind of being a little bit gloomy outside. Carly, lay down. You need to go lay down, girlfriend. Go lay down. No, go lay down. I thought the perfect kind of time to talk just for a couple minutes about why I moved up here. I had a couple people say to me, wow, that was like a big move. I mean, you like literally packed up and moved states. What happened? And so I thought I would take just a couple minutes to talk to you guys about that, and just say like, yeah, it was a big move and it happened really fast. And so I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity to kind of sit down and share that with you guys for just a minute. So buckle up. So I was born here in Oregon, in Salem, but moved all over the place with my mom and dad. And then my parents finally landed in California, and that's where I then primarily grew up, was in Northern California. I stayed in California. I got my California nursing license. I graduated in California. I got my license there. But I stayed there because, so I got married there. I had children there. But I stayed there because really that I was all my parents had. So I really felt a lot of pull emotionally to stay there with my mom and dad and make sure that they were okay. They're older, they're in their 80s, and I just really felt like this emotional pull to make sure that I stayed close by them and made sure that everything was okay for them. And my children are amazing, and I love them. But I kind of raised them to be adventurous and to go. They graduated college, and they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was to go and be adventurous and to do the things that they had the opportunities to do when they were young. I think I'm part of a generation that is kind of called the sandwich generation, where I ended up taking care of my parents, and I ended up taking care of my kids. My kids now I don't take care of. They're grown and they're taking care of themselves, and they're amazing. The reason I moved, I didn't realize the emotional and the psychological, the mental health toll it was taking on me to stay there, to stay in California, and to stay that close. The commute itself was just horrible. I was commuting an hour and a half each way in a very, very high stress work. Emergency room and then hospice, they're no joke. They are no joke. And then to commute an hour and a half each way on top of it in back-to-back traffic is very hard. Some people would say, well, why didn't you move closer to where you live? You can't. That is like a normal commute. No matter where you go, that's a normal commute based on the traffic. It's not that you're commuting that far out. That is the traffic. And I don't think up until about a year and a half ago, I don't think I was realizing the actual emotional and psychological mental toll it was taking on me. I had always wanted to get out of California. I knew it in my soul that I didn't belong staying there, but I just didn't have the heart to leave. I just couldn't do it. I really fell into a very, very serious depression, but I couldn't even recognize or say that because it was so hard and so deep and so crushing that I couldn't even recognize it myself. I won't even get into the whole story of my job offer because that'll be a whole nother thing. But out of nowhere, I got this job offer. I was not looking for one. I had literally resigned to the fact that I was stuck. And really, honestly, God just intervened, and I got this job offer out of nowhere. And the first thing they said to me was, we want to be really transparent with you that it requires for you to move out of state. And I knew right then that I needed to take that job. And so I took it right off the bat. They said, we will pay for everything for you. We'll pay for you to stay in a hotel until you can either find a house to rent or find a house to buy, whatever you want to do. We'll pay for a hotel for you. This company has been absolutely amazing for me. They have truly walked the walk of everything that they would say what they would do. And within 2 weeks of them making this offer to me, I packed up and left. And I guess this is going to be a two-part video because I'll have to explain to you how I packed up my entire life and left in 2 weeks. But I really want to stress mental health issues in this video, and that if you are struggling with mental health, don't ignore it. I don't think that I realized the seriousness of mine until I actually drove across state lines. And as I drove across the state line, I literally burst into tears and could not stop just hysterically crying. Harley, lay down. She might have some issues too. There she goes. She's laying down. I drove across state lines and I literally I was hysterical. I think I cried probably for 3 days. I literally I couldn't stop. And that it was at that point that I realized how far into this depression I had really fallen, and how very serious my mental health thoughts were, how dark they really were. And that I really want to encourage you, if you are dealing with mental health, if you are having those types of thoughts, don't ignore them. Your mental health is serious, and that sometimes we ignore those things just because we want to help others, that we feel that we can deal with our own stuff. We just want to put our own thoughts and things like that on the back burner so that we can continue to help others. And I would really want to stress in this video that we can't help others unless we help ourselves. And so I have really come to realize that my family would really miss me if I wasn't here. My grandchildren would miss me, my children would miss me, and I can't help anybody if I'm not here. And so if you are having times where you're struggling, where your mental health isn't where it needs to be, and you're not sure where you need to be, reach out. There are a lot of community resources. There are a lot of resources, whether you are working, whether you're not working, but just know that you're not alone, and that right now, with the state of the upheaval of everything going on, whether you are on one side of the political line or the other, or employed, not employed, there's just a lot of upheaval right now. And so I would really encourage you, don't ignore your mental health. Get some help, reach out, and get plugged into the community resources, because there's a lot of resources that can help you and get back on track to where you need to be. I'm very grateful to be able to say that I feel 180 degrees different than what I did when I first started, and that was just 8 weeks ago. So yeah, I would love to just say, please don't ignore your mental health. So that's it. Soup is warming up. I have work that I need to go do for the day. Carly, the doggie, is finally settling down. She equally does not like the rain, and so she needs some attention in there. So that is it. We will do another video tomorrow, and at some point in the next few days, we're going to go down and explore the very, very creepy, but very useful basement. So I hope you like these videos, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Have a great day.